Reasons and seasons for celebration, Valentine's Day. Is Valentine's Day a couples-only holiday? Hi, I'm Dr. K.P. McKee, founder and executive director of a Spacious Place Creativity and Spirituality Center. And as we share our thoughts about Valentine's Day today, we would love to hear from you. You can enter any thoughts or questions you have in the chat box on your mobile device or on your computer. So here is a little background about Valentine's Day. Saint Valentine lived during the time of Claudius II, and there's some differences in ideas about him, but the overarching theme seems to be that Claudius did not want soldiers to marry because he thought it divided their loyalty between their service as a soldier and their wedded union. So he made it illegal, and some of the soldiers who were the Christian soldiers wanted to get married, and St. Valentine performed the ceremony for them. And for his efforts, he got imprisoned. And then the final straw was when he tried to convert Claudius to Christianity, for which he was then beaten, stoned, and beheaded, which is the classic definition of overkill. So in one sense, Valentine's Day is about couples. St. Valentine was making it possible for couples to marry. In a larger sense, it was about more than that, things like justice and human compassion. And here at A Spacious Place, those are the things that we are focused on, in addition to enjoying the rom-com for every now and then. So we wanted to share with you some resources we have for Valentine's Day as something that is accessible and celebrating human, respectful love in many forms. So the first one is, this is Tenor's Valentine, Carreras, Domingo, and Pavarotti, doing all kinds of songs from Madame Butterfly to, there's just a ton of them here. I wish you could see, but this is a resource that you can enjoy for music appreciation on Valentine's Day. And then Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and also Anything by Jane Austen. I'm losing things here. The Brontes and Jane Austen taking our interest in romantic love and using it to open our minds to larger social issues like justice, equality, and human compassion. And then for children, we have Will You Be My Valentine by Stephen Kroll, which is about a little boy who is to make a valentine for a girl who he's not sure likes him, and how they work through their issues on that delightful little book. And a comic Valentine, the Berenstain Bears. This, on a day when we're looking toward having the Super Bowl, this introduces sports and Valentine issues. And then one that you're probably very familiar with, Stone Soup, talks about what it means to be a community, and a sharing one and a caring one as well. And so here are some projects that we can do to celebrate Valentine's Day with all the people we love and care about. This project is Valentine Art, and I have 3 examples here. I'll just show them to you. These are done in watercolor. And to do this project, we made a template for the folks we work with and provided the watercolor paper so they could just trace around the template, and they could choose to focus mainly on the paint and do it in pencil, or to make it more like a stained glass with a black permanent marker. And then you simply just take your ruler, draw lines, and then you just paint in the spaces that are created by the lines that you did. So you can see by looking at these how different they can be, just starting with the same basic idea. So that is one. And then the second one is we can take the idea of Swedish Hearts, and we have simplified them a little bit here to make them a little bit more accessible. But we created 2 templates, and then you can cut out, you want 2 different colors of paper. And I'm going to lay this here and do this. So you want to lay them down so they are like a heart shape. And I always tell the folks we work with that the one on the bottom is our weaving frame, and the one above it are our weaving loops. And I like to fold the pieces back that we're not using so that we do not confuse anyone when we're working on basics for weaving. And weaving is such a good practical life skill. So for weaving, we talk about, we're basically doing over, under, over, under. So we do that first row. And then we learn about opposites, because then we're doing under, over, under, over. And one thing that helps people to visualize how to do this is to tell them it's going to look like a checkerboard when they finish. This is challenging enough that it really feels like an accomplishment when people finish it, but also there's not so many things here to weave that it feels just like it's beyond me to try. So it's a good starting project for doing paper weaving, and then that can move us into yarn weaving and all different kinds of challenges that are good for our minds and also are just things that help us with our daily life. It's a skill we all need to use. And after we do this, I always encourage them to take a glue stick and glue down their hard work so they don't lose what they have done. Then we went an extra step, and I can show you with this one. So I made this back, it's a little bit larger, and drew this line with an arrow and a dot so that they would know not to glue all the way around, because we then can turn these into pouches for them to put their Valentines in that they get from their friends. And I used some scissors that had kind of a fun cutting edge to them to make that a little bit more fun for them too. So that glues down, but it leaves an opening up here so that they have something. And then we always put their name on it here. So here's one that a couple we went a little extra with and made them into Valentine people by adding accordion fold arms and legs to them, and then lots of Valentines to turn into the features that they have. And if you want instructions on any of these, just let us know and we can send you our written instructions on how we did it. Then another thing that you can do is you can make Valentine cards for people who you care about and you want them to know that you appreciate them. And this is one that we have done. So there's 2 different approaches to this. This one has the Valentine balloon on the outside, and then your smaller Valentines on the inside, and that really captures your attention, and it's beautiful. It is a little bit harder to insert in an envelope. So we went with this one for ones that we wanted to put in an envelope, and I'm going to walk you through how to make one of those now. So the first thing I did was to take some rice paper and just tear it so that we have some clouds. We put some clouds in the sky. I'll hold this up each time I do it so you can see. And then I punched out some little Valentine shapes. You can always cut these out as well. It's wonderful if you have a die cut machine, like a Cricut. That makes it a lot simpler to do these things, but you can also do it by hand. And I had, oh, there's my drop. I just drew a little tie on it so it looked like they were balloons sailing up into the sky. Okay. And then on the inside, for this one, because this paper is not real thick, I put a little extra paper here for this part. So now we're going to make our three-dimensional balloon. And what you want to do is you're just going to fold your Valentines. They need to all be the same size, which if you do not have a die cut machine, I would recommend cutting a template and then tracing around it. And then you want to just glue it right where the center of the paper is. This one's not going to show up as much, so if you have a color that you don't really care about, that needs to go on the bottom. Or if you have some paper you just need to use but it's not a good color, that's perfect for that. And then you're just going to continue doing this. So I'm going to put some glue on the side here, and then I'm going to show you where I am gluing, since it's a little harder to see with it lying down here. So I'm going to glue it right here. And you want to line it up. And you continue with all of your colors. And I did 6 colors here. You can kind of play around with it and see what you like. This, so it's more of a rainbow thing. And if you really press your folds in well, that really helps. And when we take the time to create something for someone like this, I think that in itself is a gift of love. Something that lets someone know you thought about them and cared about them enough to create something just for them. With the last one, I'm going to make this green one the last one, I'm going to need to put glue on each side so that it then glues down to the one that I had glued down for the anchor on the paper. And I like to go back through and just make another press. So, like this. And I'm going to, oh, I want to do this first. So I just made a little thing that said sailing by to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to go ahead and glue that in. Just use my printer on my computer to do that. You can handwrite things. That also is nice for somebody to take the time to do that. So there is one. And then we also can make a Ladybug Valentine. Those are things to do right here. So I made a template, and you want to fold, trace it, and then cut around it. Thank you. And you'll want to use red paper for this project. Then you are going to cut out a circle about this size and punch 2 holes in it with a small hole punch. Or if you don't have that, then you can maybe just use some scissors to create that space. And you want to glue it behind the bottom Valentine so that it peeks out like this. And then we're going to thread through here till it evens up, bend up, and then I like to use an open pen and just roll it down. If you've done any quilling, kind of have an idea of how that works. And then if you like, if you have some little wiggly eyes, you can put those on as well. And then we have these little dots we can put on. There. And then I made a little sign that said, Happy Valentine's Day from a Spacious place that we'll put in the inside. You can also write a message if you would like. So those are some ideas and some ways that you can celebrate Valentine's Day for anyone who you love and anyone you want to have know that you care about them. And we will be back with one final celebration times about Mardi Gras on February the 27th. And for our closing prayer, I am going to read the love chapter from 1 Corinthians, which I think is a powerful bit of poetry about what love is all about. And even though we often favor the more up-to-date translations for understanding because language changes over time, the beauty of this one in the original is just powerful. So I wanted to share it through that. And the word here is, they're using the word charity, which we understand now as the word love. So let's pray. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains, but have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up. Doth not behave itself unseemingly. Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things. Believeth all things. Hopeth all things. Endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know even as I also am known. Now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. Amen.